grew up in a family where we really didn't have too much art. My father knew two things about art, I always say. He knew Van Gogh cut his ear off, and he knew something about medical illustration because of his career. But I didn't know what the life of an artist would be. So when I went to college, I actually went to a liberal arts school for 1 year. I was afraid, or maybe not confident enough as a high school student to make a decision about art. But after 2 months or so at this liberal arts school, I really knew what I wanted to do. Then I transferred to the Maryland Institute and spent 3 years there. That I was most alive when I was outside working. I enjoyed that. Some of the other forms of painting, still life figure and so forth, seemed to me a little drier and a little bit more deliberate. And I like the idea of being responsive. So I like the idea of the landscape changing. I had several very good teachers at the Maryland Institute that were also painting landscape, and that encouraged me a lot. How long does one of these paintings take? I would say, on average, probably 4 hours. But that's on average. Some of the paintings I might start and complete outside and do it in 4 hours. But there are other paintings where I might work on outside for 4 hours, bring them back to the studio and work 12 hours on them. I may repaint them back in the studio. So my method has been changing. This show is probably comprised of 2/3 paintings from Ireland. It's really a paradise for a painter like me that likes to work outside, because the weather's always changing. I could stand in one spot and do a different painting every day because of the atmosphere. I was in residence at the Bala Arts Foundation, and I've been there 9 times. The first time I went was either 1999 or 2000. It's a small foundation that houses 4 artists at a time. Each artist gets a cottage and a studio to work in. One of the last lines of the application is, let us know how many family and or friends will be coming with you, and that's very unusual for a residency. But it describes this program in that Peter Maxwell and Margot Dolan, who founded it, had a wonderful vision of integrating the artists and their families into the community. It's a very, very supportive environment. I feel like every time I go there, I see something new, I experience something new. I meet wonderful people there from all over the world in terms of artists, but the locals. I exchanged Christmas cards with a number of the people in the area. I've made very good friends there.
Lat wevetin Mobronis mu vilim az mistelom tu
The artist community here in Philadelphia. I came here for graduate school in 1980, and the graduate school experience was okay, but the better experience was working in a restaurant here in Philadelphia because the restaurant was filled with artists. I learned more about art as I was serving drinks and entrees than I did in graduate school. And that was great. When I finished graduate school, I really had no thought of moving anywhere else because of the community here. I got to meet people outside of the graduate experience, Scott Noel, Randy Exon, Dean Hartung, all these people, very good friends, very good artists, and a wonderful supportive community, a wonderful community to have to talk about painting, to spur one another on, to be competitive with in a positive way. And I'll be out painting with Randy and we'll meet people from New York, from Ireland, and they'll say, "You guys from Philadelphia are so positive. What's up?" And we just enjoy painting. We enjoy supporting one another, and it's just been a wonderful environment. I did spend probably 2 years when I finished graduate school out in Bucks County, and I was very, very isolated. And when I came back to Philadelphia, my painting just took off, and it's because of that community. Primarily, I paint on mounted canvas. I mount the canvas myself on a panel and then gesso it. But I like working on a flat surface, a hard surface. I also try to keep it simple. I work primarily with gesso. I don't work on an oil prime surface. I like the way especially Lasco gesso absorbs. With these paintings, as small as they are, one might be surprised in that most of the painting, probably 80% of the painting, I do with a brush that's 1.5 inches flat. Very much in the mode of Hawthorne, of laying in blocks of color, blocks of tone, and then pulling it into focus with smaller brushes later. But I paint from those big relationships. I'm not locked into a certain palette. I usually set up in front of a subject and ask myself, how many colors can I get away with? Meaning, how few colors can I use to capture what's in front of me? I feel like that bracketing helps me have a more cohesive painting, sense of light. I use almost pure terps when I dilute the paint. Now I'm starting to use some more linseed oil, but again, I keep it fairly simple and paint directly. I've always loved to draw. And when I start to draw, I usually just start in the middle of the paper on a form and let it grow. I'm not thinking about a product, I'm not thinking about a composition, but it's really just a way to investigate and connect with those forms. And my painting has gotten more detailed, I think, because of being more engaged with the drawings. For me, painting is a way of connecting to the world around me. And I hope that's also the experience a viewer might have, that they can have something evoked or triggered in them when they look at a painting, something they can identify with. I struggled with this, as I think most artists would, probably when I was a senior in college, I was starting to feel as if painting was very selfish, that I was doing it just for me, just to get recognition or somebody to acknowledge a talent. And I've come to realize that it's not that. Certainly I'd like to be accepted for what I do, but it's really to make a connection, whether it's with the landscape around me, the world around me, like the world around Vuillard with him painting his mother, his sister, or it's through the interaction that somebody might have looking at my painting.